So what's up guys, it's here by Nino Quadri, and welcome back to another video of Call of Duty Warzone. Consider this my ultimate Warzone settings and tips and tricks video. A bunch of you guys have been asking me for my settings over the past year, and I've kind of just waited for Raven to kind of put in more settings because they've added a lot of settings into Warzone, specifically within 2020. Which kind of sucks. I kind of wish they would do this the first year. But you know, we're on our last legs of Warzone, and maybe for these last 2 months as you wait for Modern Warfare 2/Warzone 2, I can give you guys the absolutely best settings to excel in Warzone, have fun on it. And since they're going to be focusing on Warzone 2, these will be the ultimate settings. They won't add any more new settings after this video most likely, so rely on this video for all of your Warzone 1 needs. I even have a little secret, couple little secrets that actually help you increase your FOV on console as well. So you want to know how to increase your FOV on console, have the best controller settings, graphics settings on console and PC, and you want to be one of the best players in Warzone until Warzone 2 comes out, then you've come to the right video. My Warzone settings videos in the past have done really well and they've helped a lot of players. I have a lot of experience with this and hopefully you will entrust me with your care. Drop a like and subscription if you guys want to see future Warzone videos because I upload a bunch of the best class setups and gameplays. Plus they're entertaining too, and you're just awesome. Remember that. Anyways, first off, let's go ahead and give you guys the console FOV trick. I'm actually on PS5 right now, just so you guys know. As you can see, the PS5 menu is up here, and I have my PS5 controller. So we're gonna go ahead and tell you how to get extra FOV. Basically, the trick to get extra FOV is the M38 Slate 2.5x custom optic. With all the Vanguard guns, most of them should have this optic. If you put this optic on and you switch over to the Slate version of the hybrid scope here, you actually end up getting extra FOV. And I'm not capping. Let's go ahead and go into a game and show you guys the proof. Okay, so we're hopping onto some Rebirth Island now with the Slate reflector, the regular Slate reflector on the AS44. We're gonna choose this corner right here on console. Just so you guys know, this is all console footage. So we're gonna focus on this spot right here, and keep in mind our field of view right now. Obviously we're on console, we're aiming down sights with the regular Slate reflector, and now I'm gonna switch over to the M38 Slate 2.5x custom AS44 class that I built, and then we can compare the optics and see how our field of view changes. We get an extra FOV, basically. We go up to like 100 something FOV. I'm not exactly sure what the number would be, but you guys will tell immediately that you can see a lot more. So we're gonna switch over to the Slate and look at this. Keep in mind the sides. We weren't able to see the green smoke on the top right there. We weren't able to see the pipes on the right there, and we weren't able to see the little railings on the left. There's so much more that we can see with this optic, and it's actually insane. And just switching between the two perspectives quickly here, you can see that there's a huge difference here on console, where you basically do have extra FOV on console. So if you're over here complaining that you're on PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X, and Xbox One that you don't have enough FOV, well, here's a nice little, I guess, temporary solution, at least until Warzone 2. You can actually increase your FOV with the M38 Slate 2.5x Custom, and it's actually freaking amazing. You can compete with the PC players if you wish. Okay, so really quick here, I'm still on my PS5, you know, console Warzone, but I usually play Warzone on PC. I just love that extra FOV. And even though you can get extra FOV on console by doing the whole Slate reflector thing, I'd still rather play on my PC so I don't have to use a certain optic. But yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and go through these really quickly. If you need basically to slow down the video and look at anything here, you can. I'm not really gonna explain anything because I'm gonna explain everything once I get on my PC and show you guys my settings on my PC. But this is just for people who are curious about my console settings because my game looks really good to some of you guys, which is really sweet. I appreciate the love and support for that. But yeah, those are my console settings. Go ahead and slow down the video or pause if you need to copy anything. But now let's go over to PC and get in depth with some of my settings. Also have some crazy tips with these settings that other people probably won't tell you about, so definitely stay tuned. Okay, so here we are on our PC where I actually use a PS4 controller. I can't get my PS5 controller to work on PC, otherwise I would use it, but my PS4 controller is what I use on PC when I'm playing Warzone, and we can go in depth on our settings now. So for our display mode, we got the full screen borderless. If you don't make content creation or if you got like a dual freaking PC setup or whatever the case is, you gotta go full screen. The reason why I personally go full screen borderless is because I only have one PC, or one monitor I should say. Yeah, one PC and one monitor. I can't really switch between the monitors, and I tab out a lot because I need to check, you know, Twitch chat, the internet. I need to, you know, look up random stuff while I'm playing. And if you play on full screen and do that with a single screen, it messes you up. But the reason why you want to be on full screen over full screen borderless, if you can, obviously if you don't do content creation of any sort, or you have like a dual PC setup or whatever, dual monitor setup, then full screen is the way to go, because full screen is going to give you the ultimate FPS and it's going to make your game feel really, really good. I am on a disadvantage playing on full screen borderless, but I really don't feel it because I don't know, I just don't feel it. But that's what a lot of experts say anyways. So the funny thing is, I actually get my new PC installed and set up tomorrow. So what you guys are seeing is my PC that I've been playing Warzone 1 for the last 3 years. I've been playing with a 2070, and you guys can see the rest of the specs here in case you guys were curious. So these specs are pretty good, but my new PC is going to be even better, and I can run a lot better settings, which is great. So I guess this settings video is perfect because you guys can see my settings on a worse PC before I transition over to my crazy monster PC, which is gonna be crazy. I have a 144 hertz monitor, so I stay on that. I have 1920 1080p resolution because I can't really handle 1440p like my monitor can, but my PC can't really display those graphics well and have a good FPS. Dynamic resolution is going to be disabled, so the next setting doesn't matter. Aspect ratio automatic. Sync every frame VSync, make sure that's disabled. For custom frame rate limit, I just keep it at 144, 60, and 30. Brightness, to just keep it at default. Display gamma 2.2 sRGB. NVIDIA highlights, I keep it disabled, and reflex low latency is enabled. With the low latency, you can keep it enabled, or you could do enabled plus boost or disabled. It just kind of depends on the build. With me, keeping it enabled gives me higher FPS than enabled plus boost or having it disabled, so mess around with it. Now for our quality settings, which is the more important settings, we got our FOV to max and actually play on independent FOV. Now the reason why I personally like independent, a lot of people play on affected because it keeps their FOV at 120 at all times. I like ADS field of view at independent because when you aim down sights, your FOV actually goes down to 80 FOV. But the reason why I like 80 FOV when I'm aiming down sights personally is because I'm able to see my target a little bit more clearer, and especially at long range, you need to be able to see your targets very easily. So if you're playing on affected, it's going to be a little bit harder to see those long range targets, and me personally, I want to be on point when I'm going for those long range targets. So you know, it's up to you how you want to play. If you play on affected, you're going to be really, really good in close quarters combat because you're always going to be on 120 FOV. But I just like the reliability of being able to pick and destroy people at long range with the independent. So it's up to you what you want to rock with. Camera movement's 50%. You don't want camera movement. Render resolution is going to be 100 because my PC can handle that. You can play at 80 or 90 and it should still be playable. Probably 90 would be pretty safe. Streaming quality, low. Texture resolution, normal. Anti-tropic, low, high, enabled. Tessellation disabled. Gore effects for the, you know, obviously I want to take advantage of my tracer packs. I keep it enabled. On-demand texture streaming, I keep this off. You know, it's just the best way to kind of run this PC. Filmic strength and film grain, make sure that's 0. Makes your game look a little bad. NVIDIA DLSS, you can, you know, mess with these settings and see if it helps you. I personally found that it actually hurt me, and having it off helps me, but it's different on every rig for some reason, so it kind of depends on your build. Try them all out and just see how they feel. I just have mine disabled. Anti-aliasing off, depth of field disabled, world motion blur, and weapon motion blur should both be off. If you have these on, you're doing yourself a disservice, because if you see the right side, you're not going to be able to see anybody, especially with world motion blur. Like, that person in that window would be able to body you. Like, imagine there was a person in that window, it just looks like a blurry line. You would not be able to see somebody if they were moving. So keep these both disabled. It's the best thing to do for long range targets, especially. Shadow map resolution low, catch spots enabled, shadows enabled, particle lighting low, DirectX ray tracing disabled, occlusion disabled, and SSR disabled. Basically, this is all so I can have the highest FPS possible, you know, with my current rig, especially because I don't have the best rig at the moment. But once I put in that new PC tomorrow, ooh, a lot of these settings are gonna go up. Like, I'm gonna probably have this at high. I'm gonna have this at freaking normal. I don't know. We're gonna see how powerful my PC is, but I'm getting like a 3080 Ti and some other stuff. It's gonna be crazy. I can't wait. So interface now. I have subtitles disabled, but if I wasn't making content creation, I would low-key have them on. Having subtitles on is actually an advantage, especially if you don't make content and you want to be just focused on the gameplay and playing better, because if you're not able to hear a call out, you'll be able to see a call out on your screen. Like if somebody's dropping in, the announcer actually says that in the subtitles. So I'd recommend you have it on because it's going to help you a lot in just little things, in my opinion. But because it gets kind of annoying when it comes to watching videos of mine, I have them disabled. But if I didn't make videos, I'd easily have them enabled personally. Color blind target disabled. I don't really need a need for that. Tooltips, I just keep it enabled. You know, all this 100. Very important feature right here. Minimap shape, make sure it's a square. If you compare the circle minimap to the square minimap has a lot more area and coverage. So you're actually at a disadvantage if you had it on circle. So make sure you change this to square. It's going to help you a ton in using the minimap. And the minimap is the most important tool when playing Warzone or Call of Duty in general, because you see the red dots on your screen, especially when you call in UAVs. And you want to be able to see as much of your minimap as possible. I cannot stress this enough. If you have this at circle, turn it to square. Trust me. Mathematically, squares are a little bit bigger. Minimap rotation enabled. I think this is a personal preference. Compass enabled. You know, get as much info as you can. Numbers I have there. Kill feed duration, I keep it at 60 seconds. You can keep it at your own personal preference, but the reason I have it at 60 seconds is because if I can see what kind of opponents I'm bodying and see who's coming back, or just, you know, it's just extra information that I'd like to have up as long as possible. So it's up to you, however you want to have it. I just like it for a minute. For this one, I guess you could always show vehicle controls, or you can have no vehicle controls. Honestly, always show vehicle controls is nice in case you forget how to use something. This one is kind of personal preference as well. With disabled, you're gonna have to manually press circle after buying something to get out of the buy station. But with enabled, if you just buy something, you already exit the buy station immediately, and you won't have to press that extra button. So I like it enabled just because if I just need one UAV, I cop it and then I'm good. If I just need a loadout, I cop it and then it automatically makes me exit the buy station. If you're somebody that likes to buy a ton of UAVs and you gather up money a ton, then maybe at that point you buy a ton of UAVs and you want to have it disabled. It's up to you. I just prefer enabled because in most cases you're only going to be buying one thing and then moving away. So this one is really important. Default to focus on first loadout item and drop. This is one of the new features that they added actually as of this season, if I'm not mistaken. And you want to keep this one disabled. If you keep it enabled, when you open your loadout, no matter what loadout you want to choose, the first loadout is always going to be the one that's focused, basically. So the way to explain this is that if you have this enabled, if you go over to your loadout drop, right? The first loadout is going to be the loadout that you're going to, like, your cursor is going to be on automatically. Especially on control, it is very important. But sometimes you don't want to use that first loadout. Maybe you want to use your fifth loadout, right? You have to scroll 4 times down to get to your fifth loadout, the one that you want to use, because you have this enabled. I recommend having this disabled because in the pregame lobby, you can choose pretty much what loadout to choose. So as long as you chose like maybe your fifth loadout, like I said before, if you chose your fifth loadout in the pregame lobby, you know, where everybody's like fighting before the game starts, then that's where the cursor is going to focus on within the game when you get your loadout in your actual game. When you get your loadout in your actual game, it's going to focus on the fifth loadout because you chose that in the pregame lobby. So hopefully what I just said makes sense. Repeat this part if you want as much as possible, but keep this disabled because it's going to help you a lot more, especially if you're on controller and you're not on keyboard and mouse. This is going to help you a ton. For text chat, I keep it enabled. Profanity filter enabled because it's funny to see some of these fools comments or not see them. I just keep this disabled, and then this is all like personal preference here, to be honest. And I keep this enabled in case I'm like lagging or whatever the case is. So, yeah. Okay, now we're on to our audio settings, which are very important if you want to hear footsteps. So, the best audio settings are right here. For audio mix, you want to keep this at boost low because it's going to help, you know, heighten the low bassy sounds that you hear on footsteps. So having it on boost low is going to make footsteps really easy to hear. Master volume should be all the way up. Music should be very low just because you don't want music distracting you. Dialogue should be a little bit lower, but still audible enough so you hear certain callouts like, oh, there's a person in the sky, or there's somebody dropping in, or whatever the case is. So that's very important. You can keep it a little bit higher maybe, but I keep it at 23. Effects volume, you could have this at 100. I just kept it at 73 because this can be super loud, so I keep it around 90. But honestly, if you want to hear footsteps all the way, 100 is the way to go. Just don't be surprised if your ears start bleeding. But you know, the effects volume should be higher than the other options, that's for sure, or equal to the master volume. Cinematics volume doesn't matter. Juggernaut music, that's in multiplayer. Hit marker sound effects, MW. Mono audio, mono amount. Yeah, all of this doesn't really matter if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you can copy all that if you want, but it's these effects that you really want to be able to hear footsteps with. And with this, footsteps should be super easy to hear, though this can be really weird with the audio, so take it with a grain of salt. And last but not least, we got our controller settings, and this is what most people really wanted to see. So for my actually BR button layout, I play on bumper jumper tactical flipped. So the way I explain this is that, as you guys can see here, I got my nice little PS4 controller. I jump using the L2 button. With this button, I'm able to basically hold the controller like this, and I can easily use this as a jump button. It allows me to jump shot super easily. I aim in with L1, shoot with R1, and then I slide with R3. It's super easy. I've been playing like this since Black Ops 3, which was in 2015. So I've been playing with this style for 7 to 8 years, almost a decade now, since it was first introduced in Black Ops 3. And it's the easiest way to jump shot, drop shot, and really get the move on opponents. You can obviously use something else if you want. You can use stick and move, or if you have like a scuff controller or aim controller, which I'll talk about later. You can use tactical flipped or default. But I just like bumper jumper tactical flip because it's the way I've been playing. So try it out for yourselves, and maybe you'll find yourself liking this controller configuration a lot better than your default one. It might take some time to get used to because it's a little bit awkward at first, but man, when you get used to it, oh, it's so nice. So freaking nice. Stick layout preset default, disabled. Dead zones, I just keep them at 0.10 just because I don't really get much stick drift, and if I did, I'd probably put it a lot higher, so definitely keep that in mind. Keep this at 0.99. Horizontal and vertical stick sensitivity, I keep them at 8 just because it's not too fast and not too slow. If it's too fast, then you might be a little bit sloppy with your aim, and if it's too slow, you won't be able to turn on somebody in the corner, or somebody behind you. So it's good to keep it somewhere in the middle. Obviously, this is personal preference. You can keep it to 1 if you want. You can keep it at whatever the max is, 15 or 20, whatever the case is. It all depends on how you play. So just practice whatever you like and see how you perform. Okay, so moving on, we got the ADS sensitivity multiplier. This is off right now because I have custom sensitivity per zoom. But if you were going to have this multiplier on, I'd put it at 0.9. But I like it per zoom because this allows me to pretty much use all these optics. I like having 0.9 for the most part just because these optics I want to be a little bit more accurate with when I ADS. So that's why it's at 0.9. But when I have an optic higher than 4x zoom, then I like it at 1.20 because it feels a lot faster. It doesn't feel as sluggish because I feel they move too sluggishly to hit my opponents. So that's the way I like it. You can keep them all at 0.9 if you want, but I just like 1.20 for anything further than that. Aim response curve type, use dynamic. Do not use these other ones. They're good, like any of them work, but pro players tend to use dynamic, and I've been playing like this since 2019, and dynamic works really well for me personally. It makes your aim like super sticky or something. I don't know, there's a video that Jay got, our exclusive Ace, made like years ago explaining this concept, and I just kind of stuck to it. Controller vibration off, it's just a personal preference. Just have been playing for like a minute. Gas mask is toggle only. This is pretty much personal preference. You can do it if you want. Me personally, I just keep it disabled. I like the automatic gas mask toggle. I don't really want to think about putting on my gas mask or anything like that. Honestly, probably having it enabled is nice because that means you can choose when to put it on and when to put it off. But I'm still cool with having it automatically. But that's up to you. Aim assist, keep this on standard. If you use precision, focusing, or disabled, it's really not that good. I believe precision was good for sniping. But that's more so multiplayer. I think standard is still just the best way to go. Once again, somebody else made a video on it really explaining it in depth, and just trust me, standard is the way to go. Scale aim assist with FOV, I keep this enabled just because they're gonna have like a higher hitbox, and it's really easy to kind of body them in my opinion. Or you can keep it disabled, whichever one you want is the way to go. Weapon mount shared input, these don't really matter. It's kind of up to you there. ADS doesn't matter. Steady aim, equipment behavior, use/reload behavior. Keep this on contextual tap, because if you keep it on contextual tap, you'll be able to loot freaking stuff really quickly. All you gotta do is press square instead of holding square. If you have it on tap to use or tap to reload, then you're gonna get screwed over in some way. Contextual tap is the way to go if you're playing Warzone, because just at the click of a button you collect your stuff instead of holding it, which is going to waste time. Depleted ammo weapon switch enabled. Armor plate behavior, this is very important. Use apply all. You'll be able to put on armor with just holding the triangle button once, And then if you want to cancel it, just slide or like switch weapons or whatever the case is. Because if you keep it at apply 1, you have to hold your triangle button the whole time, and that can hurt you a lot. So keep it on apply all, and you'll be winning more gunfights and running away from engagements a lot faster. Slide behavior should be on tap. If you just want to be able to slide, just tap, bro. It should not be on hold because that takes a little bit more time. Tap is a lot more faster. Auto move forward, I keep that disabled. I think it's really dumb that if you're always going to be moving forward, sometimes you need to stop and like hold a position down. Just my opinion. Tactical sprint should be double tap. Just makes it a lot easier in my opinion. Automatic sprint also screws you over because if you're always automatically sprinting, your sprint to fire time is going to be super slow. So if you run into a camper, you're pretty much going to die. So don't keep it on in any sense. Just keep it to disable because it's going to help a ton. And yeah, these could be your own choices as well. And yeah, that is all of my settings. My full ultimate Warzone settings list. Hopefully I gave some really great tips here, and sorry if the video was a bit long, but I really wanted this to be my final settings video that you guys can look back on and see if you find useful. Don't click off the video just yet though. I got one special announcement to make. So thank you for watching the video the whole way through, and if you're still watching to this point, you love me, or I definitely love you, that's for sure. But just thank you for being interested in the video. But my special announcement for today is that I've actually partnered with AIM controllers, and they actually design controllers with custom designs. And as you guys can see, I've pretty much made a hero controller, which looks really freaking dope. I've actually partnered with them for like a minute. I just haven't publicly announced it because I just didn't feel like it was the right time yet. But now a couple months later, we've got the hero controller. I've made this myself on their website, and if you need the hero like logo or whatever, I can tell you guys. And I've got my own discount code in case you guys are wondering. You guys can go to their website, put in code hero, and you guys will be able to get a 25% to 30% discount, which is really nice. It saves you a ton of bucks. So make sure you use code hero at aimcontrollers.com. And like I said, you can customize your own controller. You can make a controller like this, or a controller with your own logo or somebody else's logo. And you can even put paddles on the back if you don't like my own controller settings and how I use bumper jumper tactical flip to kind of jump with L2 and all that. And you can customize like the triggers and everything as well. I took off the paddles because I just obviously I didn't want the paddles. I'm so used to bumper jumper tactical flip, so I'm just like, you know, screw the paddles. I took them off. But that's what this little part is for. That's where they put in the paddles. But it's just a regular controller, and I just liked my logo. All I wanted was my logo because, you know, the hero logo is pretty fire. So if you want to support me, like I said before, use code hero. You know, it's always nice to be partnered with people and have them believe in my vision of just, you know, dope gameplay, entertaining commentary, and being at least somewhat inspirational to you guys. Because, you know, lately it's been hard to be a little more personable on the channel with how YouTube is. And YouTube always wants you to just be quick with the videos because people will get boring with you and the videos won't do well. So, you know, compared to my videos in the past, I'm sorry if I've been a little bit more, I guess, monotone or robotic, but I still have a soul, bro. It's just YouTube doesn't allow for it. So I'm spending some of the time, you know, this video would probably do a lot better without this little section at the end. But I just want to say I really freaking love everybody that spends times on my videos and tells me awesome things in the comment sections, because it's hard sometimes. There's some fucking weirdos in the comment section below that really fucking just grind my gears. There's fucking comment bots and stuff. It's fucking annoying. But the fact that I have a relevant audience, a lot of you guys that actually care about my channel here on YouTube, on Twitch, my second channel, is fucking amazing. I just want to say you're freaking amazing as well. Just thank you for supporting me. And if you want to support me further, you can use the code hero to save yourself money and customize your own hero controller and just be awesome. Or you can use a link. I should have a link in the description which will automatically apply the code. Or you can use the link in the comment section that I'm going to put. But yeah, that's it for the video. If my controller settings helped you, definitely drop a like in the video, subscribe, turn on those post noties. I upload Warzone gameplay like crazy. I get 20s and 30s at the moment. Maybe Warzone 2 I'm going to have to adjust again. But we'll have to wait and see. But I always try my best to keep the videos entertaining with music and edits and stuff, because that's what it's all about, making sure you guys have fun content on the channel. I'm trying not to be like a lot of these other Warzone YouTubers. I want to try and be myself at the end of the day, obviously. And that's why I've got my own little style going. So maybe the style is not popular. You know, I'm very old school in a sense compared to other people. I've been in this game for a minute, and I just want to say I love you to everybody that stuck with me throughout the years. So Yeah, my new PC is coming in tomorrow. Gonna get it set it up. Like I said, it's a fucking beast, so I can't wait to see how I perform on it. And the streams should be a lot more lit and everything. Just thank you for believing in me and my vision, guys, once again. And sorry for this video was over 20 minutes. This part definitely could have been cut out, but I at least wanted to speak my truth on a lot of things here. So thank you for believing in me. I love you all, and follow me on Twitch, I guess, and Twitter and everywhere else. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys. I love you all.